Do you have an if and then emergency plan put together? Do you know when you would bug out or what you would do if there was an economic collapse? Having an if and then emergency plan can help answer a lot of those questions in case there's ever an SHTF scenario. And if you haven't put one together yet or you need help with one you might be working on, keep watching this video, and I actually have a tool that I put together that I'll give you for free just for being a part of this channel. Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and today we're going to talk about if and then emergency planning. What is an if and then emergency plan? Well, an if and then emergency plan is a series of guidelines based on what you will do if a certain thing happens and then what you will do due to that thing happening. Basically, it gives you a lot of scenarios that you run down, and then you put together a plan on how you'll respond to those scenarios. Those scenarios can include things like a natural disaster, an attack of some kind, war breaking out, EMP grid down. Any of those SHTF scenarios that we often talk about can be included in that list. And then from there, you basically branch out and say what different actions you should take in case something like that occurs, and whether or not those actions are a possibility based on other factors. So a lot of people who are newer to SHTF prepping have just joined the community and aren't exactly sure when they would take a bug out procedure and run with it, or when they would have to bunker down in their home and stay put and try to fortify their surroundings. Those are all questions that are good to ask and good to plan ahead on, because not everybody has the same answer to those questions based on circumstance. So that being said, if you're new to SHTF prepping, or you just like the idea of putting together an if and then emergency plan, hit the subscribe button below so that we can keep the conversation going. And if you wait till a little bit later in the video, I'll let you know where you can actually get a copy of the free tool I created to help anyone who's new or even a veteran of SHTF prepping use an if and then emergency plan and use it to their benefit. I basically put together a sheet that allows you to select different types of SHTF scenarios. And based on the scenario you select, it will highlight different actions that you should take due to that scenario occurring. Some people asked the question recently with the current events going on in the world. We're living through a global pandemic, and for some reason, nobody bugged out. I mean, maybe a few people did, but not many people just picked everything up and walked out their door and left society forever. So when do you bug out? I mean, if we're going through what would be considered a worldwide SHTF event, how come nobody bugged out? Well, it's either because we decided it wasn't necessary, or because nobody had a plan in place to say when these factors hit, this is what I need to do. So if and then planning helps answer some of those questions. It helps get you into a position to where you can make those decisions a little more easily. And I think a very important part about it is being able to get someone who's not as attuned as you are with SHTF scenarios and emergency responses to be able to understand exactly what steps they should take in case something happens. Especially, let's say you are the head of your household and your family isn't as into SHTF prepping as you are. Well, that's okay, it happens a lot of times. But if you're away, you're either out of town on a business trip, or you're far away where your work is, or whatever it is you might be doing, and something occurs, a tool like the one that I'm going to share with everybody can actually be used to have those people easily answer the questions they might have in that situation. So one of the options on this sheet is going to be leave work, right? How do you know when you just leave work and don't go back? A lot of us would have thought that maybe with the current situation we're in, that we would have left work even if we weren't told to, but nobody really did. So if you're seeing something happening in the streets, right, if you want to talk about civil unrest maybe, and there's riots and looting going on and everything else, maybe that is a good time to leave work. There's a lot of different questions you have to ask yourself in those scenarios, but those are things you can answer using the tool provided. So my SHTF if and then emergency planning sheet is available for download at magicprepper.com. Just scroll down on the home page and you'll see the link there to download the file. And then in the bottom left corner of your browser, you should see the file actually download. It's in an Excel format. You can import it to Google Sheets, which is where I actually created it, and use it right then and there. Originally, I thought about sharing it with everybody for public use. However, the only way to use the drop-down menu correctly is by allowing people to edit it. And by editing it, you can completely change everything and basically ruin it for everybody in one way or another. That being said, I would appreciate if anyone wants to take the time to download the sheet, test it out. You know, it's very basic, and it doesn't cover every single scenario, and it doesn't have every single response that you might want to have. Let me know what should be added. Let me know what should change. Let me know if you think that the responses that get highlighted due to each scenario are even valid. And hopefully it's a tool that all of you can use and can help you out when it comes to your if and then SHTF emergency planning. Because honestly, you can go through and make a list, you can go through and make your own spreadsheet, all those things are great. I wanted to try to make something easy to use, user-friendly, for those who might not be as into SHTF prepping as all of us are, okay? So like I said, maybe your wife's at home with your kids, you're out on a business trip, and something happens, EMP, grid goes down. She can jump on this sheet, even if there's no power, I guess, and find out exactly what to do next, okay? So those are things that I wanted to try to put together, and maybe there's other things that we should be adding to this list, and maybe there's other actions that should be added. I left enough space for everything. Everything can be added or changed or whatever needs to happen, but I just wanted to give you an outline and give you something for free to use that can help you out. So like I said, I'll leave a link in the pinned comment below. There will be a link in the description as well. And if you just go to my website, magicprepper.com, you can find that downloadable sheet right there on the homepage. And hopefully this helps with your emergency planning when it comes to if and then, okay? I think the current situation that we've all experienced showed us that we had a lot of gaps in some of our planning, and that maybe there's certain things that occur that should warrant a resupply versus other events that don't really matter when it comes to being able to resupply your preps. And those are things I wanted to kind of address. So let me know your thoughts, leave comments below, especially if you check out the sheet and you let me know what you think about it and whether or not it works the way you think it should, or whether or not there's things that I should change on it. And I don't mind editing it, but maybe if you have better sheet skills than I do, you can just do it yourself, and then go ahead and send me a revised version of the copy if you think it's better at magicprepper@gmail.com. That way, we can keep the conversation going, help each other out the most we can. And honestly, I just try to provide some value here for everybody. So I really appreciate all your support. It's been really awesome with the channel growing the way it is. Hopefully we can keep it going, and I'll do my best to keep giving you guys good content into the future. So without anything else to say about if and then emergency planning for SHTF, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.